Chris, we're leaving the movie, buddy. What'd you think about X-Men 3 or X-Men Apocalypse?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
It was like
Definitely good. Definitely worth going to see.
Eddie, what'd you think about X-Men Apocalypse, buddy?
I think I gotta take a leak.
You gotta take a leak first.
Bro, that's what I gotta do.
You sure you don't want me to do play-by-play in here, Eddie? The people have taken the field. Well, after the bathroom break, and I took an epic piss.
I think we all did.
That was a holding on that.
That big lemonade I drank was like that big.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, I can't go because the end of the movie, and I missed the end of the freaking. I can't go during the end credits because they show a scene at the end credits now, all the time. So we got to see some trailers in this movie. We won't mention the Ghostbusters. That's enough hate on that movie because we all know we ain't gonna go see it. Let's see. They showed a Jason Bourne trailer.
Yeah, I don't really care about that one. And they showed a
Jason Bourne. I think me and Chris is the only ones that really like that series.
I don't really. Then they showed the trailer for Star Trek Beyond, which I was not impressed.
More Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
It's basically the first trailer they showed. They ain't showed the second one. It's weird, you know, because they've released a second trailer for Star Trek, and all they showed was the first one.
These Star Trek films are.
It's the same guy who did the
Fast and Furious.
They blow them up, more blind.
No, it's not a Star Trek movie. It's a
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious movie with the Star Trek name on it.
Just imagine when they cast Vin Diesel.
It's
It's
Fast.
cars, it's a spaceship.
It's Fast and Furious in the future and in space. Is what it is.
All we need is Vin Diesel and Paul Walker.
Have some action, but it don't have to be blow up everything from the time you start watching the movie till the end of it for it to be a movie. And a lot of people lose. The people that make the movies lose that concept. Oh, let's have everything blow up from the time it begins to the time it ends. And it's just like blood and guts. You don't have to have all that to have a good storyline.
Yeah.
What is cars and all this?
We saw the.
It'll probably make its money. There'll probably be a million people go see it.
We saw the Independence Day 2 trailer, which actually was better than the first one. It actually showed more, and
It didn't look too bad.
it actually didn't look too bad. I have a fond memory of that first one because I had my dad take me to that first one, and he's like, he fell asleep during watching it because those ain't his type of movies, and he asked me, he said, what happened at the end?
Tarzan looked good too.
Yeah, Tarzan was good. It was the first time I seen it.
I did. It was the first time I seen it too.
Tarzan, that looks good.
That's the first time I've seen that particular trailer. Now I've seen the other trailer that.
I haven't seen it. First time I seen it. Oh yeah.
I just want to say a message. Don't fuck with Tarzan. Because, I mean, if you watch that trailer, that dude...
Don't mess with Tarzan.
Yeah, don't take Jane, because you're going to be screwed. And finally, I think that was all the trailers, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
We didn't see no comedy trailers on this before this show.
Yeah, sort of Ghostbusters was.
But, yeah. Getting to the movie, the much derided X-Men Apocalypse. We know critics are hating it. What was y'all's feelings on it?
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
It was better. It was better than X3. I can say that.
It was good.
It was
Very good.
good. It was good.
It was very good. Very, very good.
Yeah.
Very, very good, Mr. Seinfeld.
But yeah, everybody was been saying how bad and terrible it was. One guy said he swore at the screen at the end. I'm like, he must have watched a whole other fucking movie. He must have walked into He must have walked into a movie that was totally different than into it. They didn't like it. Critics didn't like it. There was some good stuff in this movie. I'm gonna say at the end, they actually made Apocalypse really a threat in this movie. I mean, he puts an ass whooping down on a lot of people. I don't want to, spoil too much in it. There's some good cameos. It has some nice throwbacks to the 80s.
Well, the whole movie takes place
in
in
83.
1983.
Yeah.
Yep. 1983, folks.
So, and there's lots of nice references to that era.
Yep.
A lot of things that were happening in the the world at that time. They don't even know a lot of things that were happening in the X-Men comics at that time. They show up in this movie.
Yep. That was the best thing about it. That was the best. It was there was some good stuff in it. Stay tuned till the end credits. There's only one big scene at the end.
Very, very, very end.
And just stay till the very end. It probably sets up what's going to happen next, the next villain. Because we know that more movies is coming. We know Fox ain't going to stop on the
As
X-Men.
long as the money keeps rolling in.
But, yeah.
She's an idiot.
But we all. So if we had to give a score to it at the end of the movie, at the very end.
Are you talking about on a 1 to 10 scale or on
1 to
a
10?
grading scale?
1 to 10. 10 being the best.
I would give it. I would give it 7.5.
7.5.
That's about what I'd give it.
I think we'd all fall on the same lines. It's not as good as Days of Future Past.
It's not even as good as First Class, in my opinion. But
I
it
thought
is.
First Class was better than Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it is good. It's very good, but not as good as the previous two.
Yeah, Days of Future Past. I think that was mine. It was, it ain't as good as the first two, as Chris and you put it out. It ain't as good as the first two, but hell, it's a lot better than the next three and Wolverine Origins. For my God's sake,
It's better than the Wolverine as well.
well, what killed what killed the Wolverine for me, it was the ending part, like the last 20 or 30 minutes.
Which one? The last one where he fights?
All the ninjas. If they would have just kept it in the ninjas and him fighting ninjas and trying to survive, perfect. And then once it got to him fighting Iron Man, and that's when.
Dang, cutting his.
Oh my!
But, we all. So if we had to give a score to it at the end of the movie, at the very end.
Are you talking about on a 1 to 10 scale or on
1 to
a
10?
grading scale?
1 to 10. 10 being the best.
I would give it. I would give it 7.5.
7.5.
That's about what I'd give it.
I think we'd all fall on the same lines. It's not as good as Days of Future Past.
It's not even as good as First Class, in my opinion. But
I
it
thought
is.
First Class was better than Days of Future Past.
Yeah, it is good. It's very good, but not as good as the previous two.
Yeah, Days of Future Past. I think that was mine. It was, it ain't as good as the first two, as Chris and you put it out. It ain't as good as the first two, but hell, it's a lot better than the next three and Wolverine Origins. For my God's sake,
It's better than the Wolverine as well.
well, what killed what killed the Wolverine for me, it was the ending part, like the last 20 or 30 minutes.
Which one? The last one where he fights?
All the ninjas. If they would have just kept it in the ninjas and him fighting ninjas and trying to survive, perfect. And then once it got to him fighting Iron Man, and that's when.
Dang, cutting his claws. Nothing can cut adamantium. Even adamantium cannot cut adamantium. That was so stupid. That whole scene was so ignorant that it wasn't even funny. It was so ignorant.
Yep.
I know that they tried to make him like the Silver Samurai, and that was just ignorant.
Yes, let's turn the Silver Samurai into a big mechanized
Iron Man.
robot.
Yeah, let's
Iron Man.
drill
Just
something.
basically, he made it Iron Man.
Yeah.
Let's drill something into Wolverine's claws. I mean, that was just totally stupid.
The first air of the Wolverine is good. It's just the last some of that movie just killed it. But this one,
I will say that the Wolverine is better than X-Men Origins Wolverine.
remember in X-Men Origins Wolverine, he drove across the country in one day in magical Wolverine power on a motorcycle.
That was dumb as in part one of the X-Men. Who are you, Wheels? He already knew who Professor Xavier was. He was the one who recruited him to join the X-Men. That was ignorant too. That's why I didn't hardly like the first three. The first three compared to the last three is a joke. The last three X-Men movies has been A+ compared to the first three.
I like the X2.
I like the first two X-Men.
At the end of this, I guess we'll go ahead and go grab some grub and go see X-Men Apocalypse. It ain't as bad. you know,
I thought-
people.
Don't listen to the critics, because the critics are ignorant. They don't know what they consider to be a good movie is usually not a good movie, in my opinion.
Internet movie database.
But
what they consider to be a bad movie is usually a film that's.
Of course, I thought they should have, in First Class, they should have introduced Jean Grey before this one.
Yeah.
Because Jean Grey was around way before Storm was, even before Mystique was. And they got that ass backwards.
Well, then you also got to look at it like this too. That with Days of Future Past, it's a whole new timeline. It's
Oh,
yeah.
It's a whole.
Whole-
new
I mean,
whole
the
constituted
First Class
timeline.
wasn't, though.
Eddie and Chris said, we want to eat the $20 fill-up meal.
KFC, my ass, eat somewhere else.
What is cars and all this?